Good afternoon. This is veteran from Trinity Prince. Okay, it's the 1st of December, and thing I want to discuss is to give my condolence to the family of Sarah Beckstrom, the girl from West Virginia that was killed in the shooting in Washington, D.C. Also, my sympathies to the parents of Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, who was also killed in that, not killed, but shot in that encounter in Washington, D.C. And one of the main reasons I'm doing this is the family of veterans, and I appreciate their service and thank the family for their service. My only discouraging is that I wish they were not there in Washington, D.C. Regardless of their political persuasion, these individuals should never have been dispatched on such a senseless mission to Washington, D.C. Again, that is my personal opinion. To work in D.C. is a very dangerous city for anyone. And to be in Washington, D.C. performing law enforcement is wrong for National Guards or military service. This is not their duty. They're not trained to do their job, especially in areas dangerous as Washington, D.C. They have trained people that can do the job. This is not a job of the U.S. military. So remember that. These people were put in harm's way. My personal opinion, by a ruthless president, a lying president. He's putting a lot of people's lives in danger, unnecessary. So, again, regardless of political persuasion, killing of these shooting of these GIs wasn't called for. But then we also have to look at the suspect, a young Afghanistan who worked for the CIA and the U.S. for over 8 years in Afghanistan. He turned against his own countrymen to help the U.S. And U.S. obligation was to bring him to this country. But like a lot of GIs, once they get here, the U.S. did not take care of him properly. He went through a lot in Afghanistan, especially helping kill his own people. A lot of GIs, including our own, go to places like Afghanistan and all these places and see tremendous, as you would say, things, which has caused a lot of GIs to have PTSD and coming back to the United States and not receiving any services. A lot of GIs right now, Afghanistanis and Americans, are ticking time bombs, waiting to explode because they have not been provided with a proper treatment once they get back here to the United States. So we need to look at all that and make sure that these individuals are properly taken care of. United States owe an obligation to the people of the United States because these people that have gone through so much stress on these conditions are dangerous. You cannot justify stopping the immigration of these individuals just because he was from Afghanistan. We have Americans that are doing things like this every day. They need help. The government needs to intervene and help these GIs when they come back from seeing so many terrible things. This man worked for the U.S. I am not justifying what he did. What he did is completely wrong. But you have to understand, there were signs. It is reported he spent the last couple of year or so, being by himself, not working, not being able to take care of his family, like all of GIs themselves, he was a broken man, and the U.S. government did not help. He worked for the U.S. for over 8 years in a very stressful environment of Afghanistan. And we need to realize that troops coming back need all the help they can. And the government should be taking that responsibility to help support them. He was not given the proper treatment. He had a social worker, but they didn't help this individual. And there's a lot more like them, Afghanistani and Americans. So we need to make sure that these people get the help they need ASAP. So that's just my opinion. Some people may agree with me. A lot of people are going to disagree. But just it's how I feel about it. The United States government should be responsible for what's going on, not just the individual. But we need to help these GIs. There's a lot of them in the same position.